Let's go. Let's go. Get us set up together. How y'all doing today? You know, we about to get to it. About to get to it. We got a push day today. This is more so a watching live. This is not really a follow along live. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Time to get to it. Time to get to it. Time to get to it. Where we at with it? Where we at with it? But yeah, time to get to it. We got a push day today. We got calisthenics push day. Yeah, not a long day today. Not doing the full workout, so it'll be a little different than usual. But we got push day, so we got push-ups, different variation push-ups. We got dips. Yeah, push-up, dips, and a little bit of ab work. You know, just to warm up the abs. But you know, first and foremost, you always gotta start with a little bit of stretching. So let's get to it. Slight little arm stretch. You know what I'm saying? Slight little arm stretch. Then switch over to other arm. A good 10 seconds. Work on mobility. Other arm, same thing. Same. Scissors real quick. Yeah. But yeah, we got push day today, so pretty plain and simple. Push day consists of strictly majority push motions. Again, we got many different variations of push-ups we're gonna complete. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Waiting on some people to join in before I get started, but yeah, everything pretty cut and simple. I got jumping jacks still on my warm up and just a little stretching of the arm still with the resistance band. You know, just get your body a little loose. Yeah. Today we got a more short live. Um, I'll drop some content after this also, but yeah, we got a more short live today. It may be about 30 minutes, 35, depending on how fast I go through the exercises. Alright, that's good enough for the horn. Now we're gonna get these jumper jacks going. Jumper jacks going, and after that, it's straight to it. Knock you out a good at least 25, but 50 to 75 jumping jacks just to warm up. Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna knock out a quick 50. Quick 50. See where we at with it today. Y'all make sure y'all share the live, like, comment, sub, you know. We get into it every day. We going live. We get into it. We're gonna go live until we hit 100,000 subs and 1,000,000 watch hours. 100,000 subs and 1,000,000 watch hours. Yeah, you don't need no weights today. So all you need is yourself and your mind. I think I'm gonna start with just to get my body going. I'm gonna start with the L sit, which is just the ab core burnout. It does affect the push a little bit, but you're not really pushing. You're kind of withstanding. So yeah, L sit burnout. We're gonna have 3 sets of those. We're gonna go until we burn out at least 15 to 30 seconds. You can do these on the ground also. However, I'll be doing mine on my parallettes here. Sponsored by Body Power, so you know they make some pretty good parallettes. I'm not sponsored by them, but that's who created these parallettes here. I ordered them off Amazon, so do you eat before you work out? Nah, I don't eat before I work out. I'm not opposed to it. You know, what kind of works for you works for you. However, my idea on it is just from a little bit of experience / research. If you actually work out after eating, you're kind of working off the food that you ate rather than actually affecting your muscles. So if you was to ask me my personal preference, I'm going with a fasted workout. Therefore, at least I know I'm working my muscles, and then after the workout, then you refuel your muscles with food. So I'm team fasted workout, but you know, whatever floats your boat, you know. Do you have anybody in your neighborhood that plan meals? Please put in a link. Okay, I drop a link. But yeah, let's get started. Let's get it started. Let's get it going. So the L sit hold, you can do it on the ground without parallax. It is a little more challenging to do it from the ground if you're not used to the position. But if you ain't got parallax, you get you 2 chairs. So again, it might not be the most comfortable thing, or it may not, may not look the best as far as content or whatever purposes go. But anything where you can put your hands somewhere, with equal height and get to it. So you can use chairs, ground, weights, dumbbells, anything that raises raises you off the ground. So yeah, we about to get to it. It's about to be set 1 on L sit holds. This again engages the core. So your core is a key foundation to everything. A weak core damn near equals weak everything else. So you definitely want to work on your core. Alright, let's do it. Make sure you're breathing. That's a good set. Good start set at that. You want to breathe. It is a little challenging to breathe, but you gotta breathe. Let's go. Let's go. See if I change the view. Maybe you can see the different muscles being targeted. Try to make sure if you're using parallels, make sure you get them on level ground, as level as possible. Alright, set 1. We're gonna knock out another one here. After we finish these 3 holds, we're gonna move over to the push-up portion, which is the longest portion we got today. It involves maybe 5 to 6 different categories of push-ups. No weights needed. You can't add resistance if you already hitting 50 push-ups without stopping. You can add resistance, or you can always go slower. You ain't gotta always add weight. If you want to add some resistance and you want to grow without weight, just do the reps slower. So slow and control is what brings the game. Alright, let's do it. Oh, another thing, if you're not able to do the L sit all the way, you can start with just your knees here. Somewhere, anywhere, you can just start in this position here, work your way on out. Stay here. If the extended leg is too hard, you can start and stay here. It still engages the core. It's just not as difficult as extending the legs all the way out. Woo! Set 2 again. Every day you want to get 1% better. So if you're not able to do the full extended leg, start with your knees. And if you can't do your knees in, just start with the holes in general. And as you work on it, day by day, try to improve somewhere. Raise your feet higher. Make more of an L. If you can't get an L, go with something higher so your legs can hang. And you'll slowly progress. So you'll start here maybe. Start here. So like let's say this is the level point, you start here. And as you get better, you'll essentially go up, up. And then as you kind of pass the LC level, you'll start to be able to hold them up here. And this will be your lower, this will be your arms, and then this will be your legs. And this is called a L sit too. This is just a more advanced L sit. Well, a V sit they'll call it, because you're kind of making the shape of a V. So it's a V sit. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Only 2 people on right now? Okay. Make sure you share live, make sure you tapping in, make sure you double tapping the screen for a like. And the reason I end up starting with the ab portion is because as you kind of get a little more fatigue throughout your workout, you're gonna need that to kind of help maintain the rest. So you want that warmed up so you're not going through the workouts, going through the other portions of the workout, and then trying to activate that core. As long as you go and activate it, then it'll be ready to help you on all your other stations. Alright, last one. I'm a little sore from yesterday, a tad bit. Alright, let's get it. Last L sit. Then we're moving on to all the different push mechanics. Again, this is strictly push day, so as you do calisthenics, it is a way to train all of it, but it's typically broken down into push, pull, upper, lower, ab, core. So it's a tad bit different from your bodybuilding, regimen versus body weight. So, all right, let's move on to the next set, last set. Let's go. Let's go. Whew. Whew. All right, good little core activator. We're gonna start on the ground with the push-ups. We're gonna start with regular standard push-ups, standard grip, arm shoulder width apart. Stay in line with your body. And we're gonna do 10 reps, but we're gonna do every set a little different. So this first set, we're gonna do slow and steady, standard push-up. Then we're gonna switch over to another variation, and then another variation, and then another variation. So that's how we're doing it. My man said slave feet. You funny, dog. Not slave feet. What my hair look like? Slave hair too? But anyway, let's get back to the workout, you know. Let me see if I can pin that comment. He talking about slave feet. These the feet God made. Oh. Alright, let's get these standard push-ups in, slow and steady. Make sure you focus on the muscle. Don't be trying to speed through and get them done. Make sure you focusing on mind the muscle control. Again, standard variation here. I'll go this angle so y'all get a better view. Legs out, body in a good flat position. And when you're doing calisthenics, if you focusing on the calisthenic version, make sure you kind of curve your back a little bit, rather than be straight back. You curve it. So you curve up here. Good set of 10 right there, slow and steady. As you really start to learn yourself, you learn more about fitness. You'll learn that 10 reps may seem like a low amount, but if I ask you to do 10 reps slow and steady, you probably won't ever better do 10. So don't focus on the reps. The reps kind of psych your mind out. Focus on actually the burn, the tension, the focus on the form and all those things. When you focus on that, the rest comes. So yeah, that was the first set. That was a standard push-up, standard variation. That's a good set of 10 there. Rest for about 20 seconds. Gain your breath back and your momentum back, everything. Next set we're gonna have is pseudo push-ups. Pseudo push-ups changes the form from standard form. So we go from here. We go from here to out. Put your hands out instead of in, and they out. Same thing. Set of 10. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. So yeah, we're about to get ready to knock that out. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for subbing. Like and comment. Any comments, questions, concerns, let them be known, drop below. Meanwhile, I'm about to knock out this set of pseudo. These are pseudo push-ups. Again, same thing when you're dealing with calisthenics and push-ups. You want to arch your back. Loosen up that scapula a little bit. Lean a little forward. Instead of being level, lean a little forward. Put the weight more on this front half. If you take a quick break in between your sets, make sure you get a 5-10 second breather so you have a good form. You don't want to do the reps half ass. You want to make sure you get them good. So if you need a breather, take a little 10-second breather. But make sure you complete them reps. I'm on 8. I got 2 more. That completes the pseudo push-ups. Make sure you get 10 of those. Then you move on to the diamonds. The diamond push-ups. Pretty much everybody knows how those work. Simply make a diamond with your hand. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Simply make a diamond with your hand. Push up. Keep them together. The diamond push-up focuses on the inside of your chest area, so make sure you do that if you're looking to build chest. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on, I said this. Hey. Man, crazy. Also, another tip I'll say, if possible, make sure you work out in the sun, man. You know, nothing wrong with hitting the gym, but you get fresh air, so you're not breathing in, you know, AC cooling or anything that could be leaking through the vents of a gym, a facility, hell, even possibly your house. So make sure you get outside and get some sun, get some fresh air. It relieves stress from the mind and a lot of other things. But as you do it, you unlock it day by day, step by step. So don't go looking for it. Don't go outside and be like, oh man, this ain't supposed to be on my mind no more. I done came outside. Now that's not how it works. You come in flow, and then once you become and get in flow, you know, the thing that you may think about, you may come outside and think about something else. You know, you may be observing nature, and then your mind could have been on something to do with your job, something to do, you know, home problems or whatever the case may be. But if you come outside, take some time, breathe. Something else around nature, I take away your thought from what it's on. All right, moving on to the diamond portion. And again, a lot of the calisthenic workouts are a tad bit shorter, because not only are you working on the muscle and the strength, right after you finish up with the muscle and the strength, you switch straight over to like working on advanced movements. And I don't mean advanced by saying if you never did a pull-up, you try to go do a muscle up. I mean, if you ain't never did a plank, for example, then you go try a plank. If you never did, you know, an L sit, then you try knee raises with your arms extended. You know, you take it step by step, piece by piece. You know, I was one who tried to jump out there and go straight to the advanced moves, which I did have some success with those, but I'm saying that to say I end up having to go start back over with the basics. So at that point, if you still gotta start with the basics to grow, you might as well go start there. Nothing wrong with experimenting, seeing how far you already are. But when it comes to creating a regimen, you don't want to create the regimen around advanced moves. You rather create the regimen around basics, push-ups, pull-ups, squats for anything dealing with the legs, and mobility. A lot of things dealing with calisthenics caters around mobility. So don't be so headstrong on how much I'm pushing or how many reps I'm pushing. Make sure you're creating the mobility with the muscle that needs to be created. Make sure you're, make sure you're not straining a selective muscle just trying to ego lift or ego, the ego always sets you back every time. But yeah, moving on to the diamond. That was a quick little rant, real quick. Moving on to the diamond. Again, make sure you got that. Make sure you got the diamond hand sign. Get in there, slow and steady. Works on the inner chest. Let's do it. I got 10. Halfway there. That's 10 diamond complete. We got one more station of push-ups before we move on to the dip. The dip push portion. We got 2 stations of the dip push portion, and then we done. And again, right after I finish this portion and this live, I switch over to my to all my specialty moves. So I'll be working on L6, L6 to handstand. You work on your handstand push-ups, your handstand holds, and if you can't do handstands first, start with headstands. So you go on your head, and then using your head help you balance and learn the motion of how your body sway and whatnot. And then after that, you work your way to the handstand. And then your head will be off the ground, and you'll strictly be using your arms and your shoulders to support your body. Next station, we got pike push-ups. You can use the ground, or if you got parallels, you got anything that raises, you up off the ground a little bit, you can use that also. The more raised off the ground you are, the more deeper you're able to take the muscle. So, for example, I just did standard push-up, right? And with that push-up, I'm only able to get so far before I hit the ground. If you use something to elevate you a little bit, you can get in that push-up form and you can go lower. So therefore, you'll work more of the muscles that you're not even working. So you'll go here and come up instead of here, which is the ground. You'll go here and come back up. So it's the same thing with pike push-ups and any other thing. You can use the ground, which is not bad. That's a good starting point. But once you done, master the ground, move on to raising elevation and get into it. So So here is the pike push-ups. We got 10. Again, you want to be in more of a V shape. More of a V shape. Hold on, slide back a little bit. That's 5 on the bar. I'm gonna do 5 on the ground. So I'll show you both variations. That's 3. I got 2 more. Again, make sure you're working on that form. Make sure you focus on the form rather than the rep. If you need to stop to make sure your form crispy, do that. Nothing wrong with stopping, but you must start back. That completes all of the push up, push portion. Moving on to the dips, which is more of a whole push rather than a full push. It is a push, however, it's just a different variation. Take your little breather. Get your mind right, get your body right. Somebody said something. You are too good. I appreciate that. What's going on, Xavier? Shamin T. I do sit-ups. I do sit-ups. That isn't a part of the regimen right this second, but I do sit-ups. Sit-ups are more of your easier beginner core and ab workout. That's kind of due to your body being on the ground. You're allowing some of the other muscles to kind of help you engage in that sit-up, so you might not get as many gains as you would if you're actually doing, for example, a hang. So if you hang on something and then you raise your knees, that works more of the core. If you hang and then you raise your leg, that works more of the core. Do you ever take days off? Yeah, days off are very critical. And it kind of varies depending on what you're training, you know. If you're doing bodybuilding, I say you need more days off than you do with calisthenics. However, calisthenics does still need its days off. It's just you are typically training harder and more heavy if you're doing bodybuilding. So your body requires more time to rest. If you're doing calisthenics, a lot of those movements are natural movements that you do on a regular. Most active people, you know, they do those regimens like push-ups on a regular. Anybody who's active that may run or jump, you know, play any type of sport for fun, they typically engage in those movements on a daily. It's just a simple fact they don't focus attention on those areas, so they don't typically grow. They just stay fit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, days off is key. I'm actually gonna start a new regimen on the 1st. It's gonna be calisthenics based and heavy, so I'm gonna go 5 days. I'm gonna do 5 days on, 2 days off. If you're gonna do the bodybuilding regimen, I say you do 3 days on, heavy and 3 off, and and then maybe get you a cardio day or a stretch day depending on what you're going for. But it's hard to take advice unless you're sure of the whole plan, because you could be taking advice from that person or me, but your workout plan may not be built up the same way mine is. Your eating regimen may not be built up the same way. So for somebody that like body builds and they take on a surplus of like calories, you're gonna have to have a little more rest than somebody who, for example, might be doing calisthenics but plant based, for example. Even though you still can intake a bunch of calories with a plant based diet, the foods kind of sit on you a little different. They cater to your muscles a tad bit different. So I also heard you say something about classes. Do you have a website? Yes, if you visit my link tree, it is in the bio of my TikTok, my Instagram, and if you go to the description of the YouTube channel, you will see it there. You can go there. You can click the link tree. It'll have availability for a meal plan to be made or a workout routine to be made. And now I recently just updated where I have a subscription to where if you want to, see a little more than just the live, you want to experience a day in the life, you want to experience some of my shopping trips, some of my things I do for fun on my off time, you can also subscribe there. It is a little fee. I believe it's $2.99 a month for like the basic package, and then maybe $19.99 a month for the full package, which includes from when I rise up to damn near when I go to sleep. So yeah, and more things to come also. So stay tuned. I'm working it as it go, creating my own script, my own blueprint. All right, let's move on to the dips. We got 2-bar dips, and then we have single dips, which is just me going from 2 bars dipping to me putting 1 on 1. So let's get to it. Quick and easy. Quick and easy. These bars here, they can do some of everything. You can, for example, you can use them as push. You can use them for push day. You can use them for pull day. If you you can even raise these up on the platform a little bit, and then it creates kind of like a pull bar for you. So you go pull day, pull this way, lay back and pull. So yeah, these bars are very, very, very much versatile. Use it for many things, but today we're gonna use it for push. We're gonna do some dips. We got a set of 10. I want you to make sure it's controlled. Don't just go, you know what I'm saying, actually see your muscles move, watch them expand and contract. Just watch it over and over. Alright, let's get it. We got 10 dual arm and then 10 single arm. And then that'll wrap up for today. And I'll be dropping some content after. I'll drop some short form content, maybe a short or two on all the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Maybe, specify it in on how to improve core, how to improve your push, something of that nature. But yeah, let's do it. One more. full range of motion. You always want to hit full range of motion. You don't want to cheat yourself. Cheating yourself only makes the journey longer. We're at 45 minutes. Pretty good timing. Yeah, you want to make sure you're breathing, or regulate your breathing. That's something that I wasn't really good at for a while, so I'm assuming that's why some of my gains wasn't showing as well, because you got to make sure you fuel those muscles with air and nutrients also. I'll also be dropping a section to work on my flexibility and my mobility. It's not gonna be so much of a teaching concept. It'll be a follow along, watch the journey, get into stretching, a little bit of yoga, a little better, because I'm one who started where I've been an athlete for forever, and I couldn't even touch my toes during a stretch, so that's kind of something that I always struggle with my whole life, but I'm about to change that. Just knowing that flexibility and mobility opens up many things, not just the appearance of being flexible, but being flexible and mobile, it releases trauma. Ideally, a lot of people that's not flexible holds a lot of trauma, and that's something where I'm looking to see if me gaining flexibility and mobility will erase slash deplete some of that trauma. So I'll be airing that on here. Some of it I do live, some of it I do shorts. It all depends. So yeah, that was the dual arm dip. We're gonna move on to single arm dips. Single bar dips. I apologize. Single bar dips. If you can do a dip with one arm, you're pretty. I might need to be taking tips from you. So yeah, this single bar dip. It doesn't look as good, but it creates that balance of the dip and the balance. So you want to make sure you get those in. Alright, let's do it. After we complete that 10, I finish up with a little stretching, a little cool down, and then I get to working on the short form content. I appreciate everybody who tapped in, liked, commented, subbed. I try to encourage people to get on these platforms and be you, rather than follow the norm. Which following the norm does come with its perks, but as you follow the norm, you're shifting out of yourself to kind of be what the norm is, and then you'll fit in with the norm. So if your goal is to strictly make money, receive views, maybe become popular, whatever the case may be, then you kind of follow that script. But if you really want to grow and you want to self-grow and expand to what you can be, take your self route. You may not receive as many likes, comments, subs, and all this stuff at first, but in the long run, everything will be comfortable. You won't have to feel like you gotta have a certain appearance to hop on here. You won't have to feel like you gotta have the best outfit to hop on here. You just drop on here, drop gems and get your work in, and then let the rest be. If you ain't got the confidence to do it, just do it one time. Record yourself, post it, delete the app. If you're gonna be concerned about what people saying, just post it and delete it, for a little while, and then check it out 3 or 4 days and see what people said. You may find out that they said some things that you enjoy. You're gonna find some things that you don't enjoy. That's just a part of it, you know. So, all right, let's get to this dip. Let's get to this dip. A single dip, you'll just use one bar, 2 hands. Come on. Woo. That completes the push portion for the day. I got about 5 minutes while I'm cooling down and stretching to answer any comments, concerns, wishes that anybody on live may have while I'm cooling down. The floor is all y'all's. I'll stay on for 9 more minutes to complete an hour. And then after that, I'll hop on. Any questions based on what made me start the journey? How far do I feel I'm in the journey? Any of those type of questions, I'm willing to answer. Good push day. Another thing, just a little tip. If you are trying to start, into your dips, your pull-ups or whatever the case may be, get you some resistor bands. You can use these, which will take a little more finesse if you want to use these, or you can get the ones that's actually catered to assisting on selective movements. But you can use these to help you do pull-ups. You can use these to help you do dips. For example, you put the band around the bar. I'll just show you real quick. Ain't got to talk you through it. Put the band on the bar. Put your knee inside here. Come down. You can use the band to help you do that until you get to where you can do it with your own strength. Yeah, man, bands are very clutch. Now, they're not expensive at all. You spend $25 to go eat. You spend $25 to go watch a movie. You know what I'm saying? You spend $25 to buy your skin on PlayStation or Xbox. On Call of Duty, you buy 2K coins to make your player good on the game, but you don't want to invest in the coins in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you gotta do better. That game gonna get old, and that game gonna go away, and you're gonna be able to spend $10,000, $20,000 on the game with nothing to show for it. But if you invest $20,000 into your health and your life, it'll show for it until you leave. I try to stay as clean and smooth on these platforms because they'll edge you out for any and every reason. So yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? We got 5 minutes remaining on the live. I assist men and women from from all ages. I take your scenario, and then I go from there. You know, you tell me your goals, what you're going for, and then I take a moment to brainstorm and to see how I can help you reach your goal. We got 3 minutes left. If anybody got any questions, comments, concerns. Yeah, this is just a part of my daily deposit here. I actually got a lot of gems. I just don't really drop them as much as I should. I'm trying to work on that. You know, I'm fighting the dogma of dropping gems, giving people gems, and they really ignore them. So I just kind of took all the information, the gems, and the knowledge I had, and just stayed to myself with it rather than exposing it. But now I'm working on exposing it. Majority of it will be for free. Anything that applies to my time and takes out of my daily life will be charged for. It could be a donation fee, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like if you had to move around, you gotta put gas in your car to move around, right? The same thing. I set a little fee, and then you ultimately dictate how much you pay me. You know, the sooner you start thinking for yourself, the less you pay me. The more I gotta think for you and take time from my own thoughts and my own thinking, I gotta be compensated for it. So, and that's with anything. That dang there with daily life conversations. You know, I try to keep those to a minimum, because if I'm talking to you, and you know I spend 30-45 minutes talking to you on here, I just lost 30 or 45 minutes. I could have been doing something for myself and my family. So, yeah, I don't my time pointless conversations too much. Yeah, none of that. Especially right now while I'm still building a lot. I can't afford for that to be. We need to be having. We either keep it short and crisp, 5-10 minute conversation, or if you want to extend, because it's costing me giving you my time. You know, I don't know when I might leave from here, and you over here might be taking 3 or 4 hours of my day, out of my life every day. You don't think I want to enjoy them 3 hours myself? For myself, for my family, for anybody, you know, that I love or care about? I definitely want to utilize my time. So, and I just want to respect that, you know, everybody give everybody else. Ultimately, you pay corporations to keep your lights on, your waters on, to keep your car. You pay all these other folks to eat every day. You pay everybody for everything. So why you don't think you should pay me a little something? Even if it's $1, why you don't think you should pay me? See what I'm saying? I'm just as important as Walmart, Amazon. Y'all give Amazon a monthly subscription and don't even use them every month. But you use me and my content every day, and you don't think you should pay me nothing? It's crazy. It's crazy. But it ultimately shows, you know, you got more respect for them than you do me. And I mean, I dig it, I feel it. But I ain't gonna let you do it though. But I dig it and I feel it. So I'm gonna keep giving these free lives out for however long they last. At some point, they will become subscription-only lives. I don't have a date on it just yet, and I'm not saying that I won't do free lives. It's just the ones where you see the whole workout regimen from start to finish. The ones where I pause, and if you're following along and you need some assistance, I'll pause in the midst of it to assist you. Those will be any of that type of help will be charged for. I can't do it for free. Oh, we just hit an hour. So any last comments, concerns before I end the live? Had a great workout. I feel great. It's gonna be a great day today. But you see how right here, I'm using these bands, correct? And you see the tension of my muscle the whole time. Like right here, I'm still tense, still tense, still tense, still tense, still tense, all the way until basically I let the band go. Now I'm not tense. So that's why I encourage people to get bands and to grow with bands first, because you're gonna always have to fight and always push against resistance while using bands. But with dumbbells or weights, there are always two, at least to my knowledge, there are two dead zones at the top of the rep and at the bottom. When your arm all the way out, it's a dead zone, and when your curl is all the way up, it's a dead zone. You're just holding it up here with a balance. But if you pull these bands up there, you gotta hold it here and fight from it coming back down the whole time. So that's where you gain more gains with bands, personally, from personal experience than with weights. But yeah, I appreciate tapping in. We'll be back tomorrow around 10:30, unless posted otherwise. Y'all be easy.